Hey, Star Dancer here. Today I thought I'd show you how to make these really cool Kyber crystals. They're made from real quartz and you can pretty much make them any color you want. What you'll need is quartz crystals. So there's some quartz crystals. You can get them by just searching on, if you go to your favorite online big box store that has the smile. You can just search on quartz crystals loose, and I got the small ones, and I got about 60 crystals, so some are really thin. These are pretty good size. Some of these are but they're all about a ½ inch at least, and you know, as we all know, you don't want a really big Kyber crystal because it won't power your power cell. It'll take up all the room in your lightsaber. You'll also need a glove, a plastic glove. That's just so you don't get ink on your hands. If you do you want to just use your hands, you can. I recommend having some rubbing alcohol handy though, because then that way after you're done you can get all the ink off your hands. And then you either need any kind of alcohol ink markers, so Sharpies or Copics if you own those. And I have Spectrum Noir, which I really like because you can blend the colors on the crystals. And I'll show you first with a Sharpie, just so you can see the difference. And once they're in here, you can't really tell. I mean, most of these are Spectrum Noir, but there's some with Sharpies in there. Cool thing about the markers is you can get all the colors. So like, here's a black crystal. And here's one I did with brown. So we don't usually see those colors. And shine the light into it. There we go. It still holds its color. So it doesn't like lose color and it doesn't look fake. So I like it. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I think I'll do orange here. So felt tip marker, and you just basically color it. So that's about all there is to it. If you want to give it like a little black edge, like the ones in Swotar that have a little bit of black, you can just color one side of the crystal black and the other sides, all the other sides the color you want, and it gives a really cool effect. So, and then the thing you always want to do is color the bottom, and I'm using the side, so I'm using the side just because you get more ink on there. The more you go over it, the darker your crystal will become. And once these dry, they're permanent. This ink is not going to come off. You can use the ink that you use for rubber stamps that comes in little eye drops, the Tim Holtz Ranger inks and stuff, but they're a lot more messy. So these are just a little bit easier. And let's see here. I think I'll add a little bit of blue to this, since we're doing it with markers. So I'm just going to go on the edge, so the little edge right there, and hit it with the blue. And it just gives it a little different effect. It's subtle, it's very subtle, but you can see in the light the edges are now coming out a little green because yellow and blue make green, as we know. If you color into the actual color, it'll blend a little bit more, and so now in the light, you can see the difference in the color there. So anyway, so that's magic markers. And I usually have a tissue that I put down, and that's where I let them dry, but they really don't take long to dry. Let's see here. I think we'll do pink. So on the Spectrum Noirs, you've got a wide point and a thin tip. I use the wide point to color these in just because it's faster and I'm lazy. And this one's kind of interesting. It's got white and clear. So depending on what's in your crystal, and that's the cool thing about doing real crystals, the clear is going to take the ink differently than the more milky part of the crystal. And again, it makes for a really cool effect, I think, because It's almost like trying to find the crystal that you like the best. It kind of talks to you and says, okay, I want more of this, or I want more of that. So this is a really light pink, but you can see how it's darker where that milky white part of the crystal is. And what's cool is like this one has a lot of cracks, and so you can see the cracks in there. And if you want to go with the canon about crystals converting to Sith, you can hit this with a little bit of red in that milky part. And now your crystal's bleeding because you're converting it to the dark side. So, and I also like when I do that, I like to hit the bottom a little bit with the darker colors so that kind of flows up into, and you see the result of the true color of the crystal turning to the dark side. And you can even add a little bit of black in here to make the colors darker a bit. Again, the Spectrum Noir, they blend pretty good. So you can see that just a little bit of the pink is left, and we're slowly bending the force in the crystal to turn it to the dark side and make it red. So that's pretty much it. And you can see just from those, that's the amount of ink I got on my fingers, but I don't have to worry about it because I got gloves. And again, you can just take a cotton ball with rubbing alcohol and it'll wipe any of the ink right off your fingers. So anyway, happy crystal making. The only other thing I'd tell you is in the bag, it comes in a really cool little bag too. So there's your bag that the crystals come in. There was almost 60 crystals of different sizes and shapes in the bag. And as you can see, I'm holding this crystal with my ink on my gloves, and none of the ink is transferring over. So it dries really, really fast. So again, start answer. Hope you have fun making your Kyber crystals, and feel free to ask any questions below and I'll help you out. One tip I do have is make sure you wash these with either alcohol, again rubbing alcohol, just wipe them down, or like a disinfecting wipe, and rinse them with cold water. That'll get any of the oils or the dust off that it encountered in the process of them getting a hold of these crystals and chopping them off the rock they came off of. And it makes the ink stick better. So make sure you clean them before you use them, and then you're good to go. Have a great day. May the force be with you.